This is our TOK midterm. And for our real life situation, um, we focused on the advancements of technology and how people have been hacking into technology such as smartphones. So lately with the new iPhones and other smartphone devices, people have learned how to hack into them, stealing personal information and invading their personal privacy. Calls and texts mostly travel unencrypted over phone lines, making them easy for hackers and law enforcement alike. Also, if a mobile network needs to know a caller's position, it can easily determine the closest base station to the phone. The real life situation highlights these ideas through background of updates passed through the SS7. The SS7 was created by telecom engineers in the 1970s to produce separate signaling paths for calls and its associated information. Engineers upgraded SS7 to measures or to accommodate signaling information about mobile phone roaming, and text messaging. From these updates, security measures were not a big priority in most, causing these hackers and law enforcement to be able to interrupt calls, leaving people's personal information at risk. And overall, the real life situation enters the hacking realm in describing the advancements in SS7 and how these hackers are very prevalent in society today. So our first order claims people need to teach their kids while they are young how to safely use devices like smartphones. Technology is growing rapidly globally, and daily technology usage in kids increases risks in hacking.
So, expanding our knowledge of the RLS, we looked at the ways of knowing that influenced it. And the first one we looked at was reason. And this was because hackers were using deductive reasoning to go from general information and reason the code down to specific information that the code will control, and how they can ultimately gain access into one's phone and or calls. The next way of knowing we looked at was imagination. And imagination is sometimes viewed in a broader way as being associated with creativity, problem solving, and originality, thus showing that people creating solutions to block these hackers in SS7 by thinking of new ideas and programs to block is using imagination as a way of knowing. Intuition was the next way of knowing we looked at, and it relates to our RLS because the user knows instinctively how to hack through difficult mainframes of information and bypass intensive, difficult levels of online security. The user can also hack the systems of incredibly complex devices and weapons to aid them in various situations. Hackers' intuition. Memory was the last way of knowing we looked at, and it relates to our RLS because the hackers can do it repeatedly. When they can do it repeatedly, they use their memory ultimately to increase the speed in which they can fully encrypt their phone and triangulate a caller to a specific base station. Looking at our first RLS perspectives, we can see the popular technology company Apple has had a continuous battle with the government over whether phones are allowed to have passcodes. The government argues, more specifically the FBI, that passcodes should not be used for the purpose of safety of the citizens, while Apple argues that citizens deserve the privacy of having a passcode. While there is the conflict of passcodes, hackers all over the world are hacking iPhones and, more importantly, leaking government conversations. As these important private informations are being hacked, the government still argues for less security. The government believes that the decreased privacy will ultimately cause an increase in the safety for the citizens, while Apple believes that the security is protecting the citizens' basic right to privacy. One perspective found in our RLS is from Noel Engel, who perceives that the software the hackers gain access into the technology from is not going to be fixed and will not result in the sense of security in our technology to continue to be exploited. In the article, Engel mentions the SS7 security flaws still offer law enforcement officials opportunities for snooping. From these beliefs of Engel, one can see the common misconceptions in technology, security, updates, and how most people have a false sense of security in their phones when it comes to hacking.